Well, the Ontario government is set to soon separate Peel region, which is just west of Toronto, allowing municipalities like Mississauga to become an independent city. Here with reaction to this latest development, and Mississauga Mayor Bonnie Crombie is joining us live now. Bonnie, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me this morning.
First off, your thoughts on this development. I know it is something that you have been calling for. Former Mayor Hazel McCallion as well had called for this. What benefit is it going to bring to the citizens of Mississauga?
So you're quite right. I actually campaigned on it in this last election, and I wanted to fulfill Hazel's legacy. You know, that she's been shouting from the rooftops for the past 25 years that this was a very inequitable relationship. Our former Premier Bill Davis created the region of Peel largely to fund the growth and development of Brampton. Since Mississauga built out first, as we all know, we were paying for that growth. We were sending 70% of the revenue from our DCs and our tax dollars to the region of Peel. Meanwhile, Brampton was contributing 25% and Caledon only 5%. In addition to that, Mississauga transfers $84 million each year to Brampton to pay for their roads, their planning, and their policing, because just the way the formula works, we have the higher assessment base, having more residents and having more businesses. We have greater revenue, so we pay for a greater share of the policing costs and for the policing done in Brampton. And meanwhile, four of the past 5 years, Brampton has frozen their property taxes. So you can see that my taxpayers find this very, very inequitable. So we're looking for more fairness and more equity. We want to be able to invest our tax dollars into our infrastructure, our programs, and our services, rather than transferring them up for the continued support of Brampton. The time has come. They're the fourth largest city in the province of Ontario. They can stand on their own 2 feet. If cities like Barrie and Belleville, Kingston, London, Windsor, even Little Dryden can stand on their own 2 feet, so can Brampton.
Now, I just spoke to Mayor Patrick Brown of Brampton, and he says that he expects billions of dollars to be brought back into Brampton's economy through Mississauga in order to make them whole. He says Brampton has paid for 40% of building things like the water treatment plant, as well as the brand new Peel Police headquarters there as well. He expects billions of dollars to be paid back. What are your thoughts on that? Will Mississauga be paying that money back?
Well, those numbers are not accurate, because clearly for the past 50 years, we've been paying 70% of the costs, Brampton 25% of the costs, and Caledon 5%. The infrastructure is fairly equitably distributed. Yes, we have the water treatment plant because we have the lake. They have waste management. Yes, we have Peel Regional Police. They have the brand new Peel Paramedic Station. So things are fairly equitably balanced. However, I'm asking for fairness and equity. So if going forward, the auditors open the books, and as they go through this divorce, if there are any alimony payments, I'm pretty sure they're coming our way, given the fact that we've been funding the region's growth for the past 50 years at 70 cents on the dollar. However, we do want fairness, so whatever the panel decides is equitable in the division of these assets. The easiest thing to do, in my view, is to keep Peel Paramedics and Peel Police intact. I would like to see them intact. I think the funding formula has to be changed. We have it's assessment based. And because we have higher population and more businesses, we have the higher assessment. So we overpay for the policing in Brampton. That is a fact. But the other wastewater, waste, that can be managed by a board. It can be put in, they can be created the same as the electricity distributor. Those can be utilities with the user pay base. So what you will pay as a consumer, as a resident, for what you use, rather than being managed by a municipality or a region. So this is, I think, the simplest outcome, to put all the servicing into, to be run by boards and to be paid for by the resident for what is used. And then paramedics and Peel Police intact with just a pay-for-use formula, much like OPP. Pay for use.
And why do you think this is happening right now? I know that you've lobbied for this for years now, but the fact that it's happening now, very close to when the Premier has said that he's looking to expand strong mayor powers out beyond Toronto and Ottawa, do you think that there is a correlation there? And is that something that you would look to accept, strong mayor powers for the independent city of Mississauga?
Yes. So I think the Premier is fulfilling a commitment that he made not only to me, but to our former Mayor Hazel McCallion, and he's doing the right thing, and I want to thank him very much for doing it. I did raise that question when he was discussing strong mayor powers for the cities of Ottawa and Toronto, and I asked him if he intended to expand strong mayor powers to other municipalities, and he said he did. And I asked how that would work in a two-tier system, especially when we were sitting at the region of Peel. Would the chair have a veto? The chair is not elected in Peel. He was appointed by the Premier, in fact. So would the mayors have a super veto? How would it work in two-tier system? And they realized it didn't work. And it was beyond time that Brampton, which is the fourth largest city in Ontario, and Mississauga, the third largest city and the second largest economy, be allowed to control our own destinies and stand on our own 2 feet, and get better apply strong mayor powers as into the single tier cities, independent cities. Would I accept them? I'm a consensus builder. I have a great council. We work very well together. I don't foresee scenarios that it's needed. We come to a consensus on our budget, on our hiring of our senior executives. We've just hired a new CAO. There may be issues that are aligned with provincial priorities, because of course you can only use strong mayor powers to fulfill provincial priorities. Perhaps in the future there may be something, but right now I'm very happy with the way things are working with my council. We come together, and I think they feel it's more democratic when we each have a vote.
All right, Mayor Bonnie Crombie of Mississauga, thank you so much for joining us here this morning. We'll hear from you a little bit later on at several news conferences today. Thanks so much.
That's correct. Thank you for having me.